Okay, so our first job is to create this goal object. Now, the shell of the goal object has been created for you and is part of the downloadable zip file. So, but let's think about what this class of objects is supposed to do. It's supposed to put a circle or a square or some shape on the screen that the snake wants to like move towards. It's the goal of the game, right? You're supposed to try and hit this goal and it's going to move around. So it has to know its X and Y position in space. It has to know its size, and it should know a color, and that's it for the fields. So here the instructions say create 4 private fields, its X and Y coordinate, a size variable, and a color object. And then so that's the first thing you need to do is create those 4 things. And then you'll implement, or you'll initialize the fields here in the constructor method. That is the constructor, and there only needs to be one constructor. And then one of the next method is a set X and Y position. So this is like called when the goal is hit, it moves itself around the board. So it says implement this method such that it sets the value of X and Y to a random coordinate somewhere in the bounds of the window. So you'll have to refer back to the window width and height variables or final integer variables, and you'll use those to establish the random X and Y position and set X and Y. So this just needs to have like 2 lines of code that set X equals, like some random value, and Y equals some random value within the bounds of the window so it can be hit. So that's one method you need to implement. And another method you need to implement is GotHit. This is for later, but I want you to do this right now. So what GotHit does is it receives a rectangle, and this will be the snake's rectangle. So the the game panel, which is keeping track of our objects, is going to send this method the current rectangle that represents the snake's location. And this method needs to say, does the snake's rectangle intersect me, or intersect my rectangle? And if so, it returns true, and if it doesn't intersect, it returns false. So this is a parameter that's being passed over. You don't need to do anything. You just say, like, if my rectangle intersects R, return true. Because, to reiterate, a different class of objects, the intent of the structure is that the game panel, which is like keeping track of all our objects, will know where the snake is and tell the goal object every time through the loop where the snake is, and it will check. So it'll call the goal.GotHit method, and if that method is returning true, it'll make certain choices, and if it's returning false, it'll make certain choices. The final method that you need to implement in the goal class is the draw method. So this is very easy. You need to set goal, like set the color of the graphics object that's passed over to the goal's color, and you can make that anything you want. And then draw it at some X and Y position based on whatever its size is set to. And that's it. And when you run your game, it should do this. There should be a goal object on the screen, and it should appear somewhere randomly. And every time you run it, it will appear somewhere else randomly. And the bounds are not quite set right, because it really shouldn't be out there. So make sure if yours is doing that. I didn't notice that the last time I checked. Oh yeah, of course, because it's okay. That's an easy fix. Just make sure you set the bounds right. So it should pop up there. Let's see a couple others so you can see what's supposed to happen. So this is basically, and yours can be any shape you want. It can be any color. But after you complete the goal class, in order to make it do that, it's not quite there yet. We have to go into the game panel and add some stuff. So here we've added the entities. Oh, right, I'll just show you this. So you add that in the fields, and then in your game panel, you add the entities into the fields. You declare them up here, so that's the goal. And then you also need a background color, because you have to draw the background too, so to keep drawing it black. So private color, background color, or BG color or something. Then you initialize the new fields, so the goal equals new goal or whatever. You initialize that object. And then you can come down here and draw the goal here, under draw entities, and then you need to add draw entities in the create image in memory method. And you need to add some instructions to draw a black background and draw the background before you draw the entities. So this is like draw background, draw entities. And let's see, do we need to update anything at this point? I don't believe we need to update anything. Is there an update method in the goal? No, there's nothing like that. So I believe that's all for this video.